Hey family, how everybody doing today? I want to start off with academics, DJ Academic. I want to talk about that, and then I want to also talk about what he said, the response of a lot of legend, pioneer, hip hop artists, and I also want to talk about the start of hip hop. And I just want to tell the family from my eyes, from witnessing it, being in the middle of it, show you some pictures of me back in the day when I thought I could rap and do all that good stuff or whatever. But let's start off with DJ Akademiks. Okay? Now, I don't know how he got the DJ part, but he's DJ Akademiks. Okay? So he made a statement, and this is for educational and knowledge only, because I did hear DJ Akademiks say that nobody has kicked the knowledge, or the old school people haven't kicked the knowledge or anything like that, or passed the torch, or however you want to say it. We'll get into that, but this is for the knowledge of some of the age bracket of DJ Akademiks and others when it comes to hip hop. And I'm not saying what I heard, what I thought, or what somebody told me. I'm talking about being right there in the middle of it, okay, as the creation was going on. And I'm going to just give y'all the story on what I know, what I've been through, what I saw, what I witnessed. Okay, so DJ Akademiks, he said, and y'all please hit that like and subscribe, please. Thank y'all so much. Love all my subscribers as well. But DJ Akademiks said in a little clip, it wasn't his whole clip. He did a long little segment. But inside that segment, he did call old school legends dusty. Okay? That they don't dress like they're hip hop legends, or they don't have the money like a legend should, or something like that. Okay, so we're gonna hear a little bit what DJ Akademiks said, and then we're gonna break down what he said. Then I'm gonna give my take on why he said what he said. Then we're gonna go to that teachable, knowledgeable moment of the start of hip hop. Okay? So, this is what he said in a segment of his. Okay? And if you can't quite understand it, okay, so I'm going to play it again in case didn't nobody really understand it, and I'm going to stop it, and I'm going to tell you. Okay, right there he said, have you seen any of these old legends, hip-hop legends? They're looking real dusty. Okay? And he said, don't none of y'all try to come for me, because I don't F with y'all anyway. Okay? Now. Okay. He said, every time he see, or have y'all noticed when y'all see a hip hop legend, y'all will say, are you sure you invented this? Because you really don't look like a hip hop legend. Are you sure you invented this? Because y'all looking real dusty out here. You see what I'm saying? Like, y'all don't look like y'all legends at all. Okay, so that's what DJ Akademiks said. And you had a lot of hip-hop legends who was upset about what he said and how he said it. Rightfully so. And you had the one who kicked it off about being upset about what he said was LL Cool J. And there's a lot of other old school legends that came out as well and spoke up about what DJ Akademiks said, and they addressed him. But I just want to do LL Cool J because he was first at addressing DJ Akademiks. Okay? So, once we do that, then we going to get down to the nitty-gritty, family. Okay? So, let's see. Let me show y'all what LL Cool J said doing all of this. This is what LL Cool J said. Okay?
You guys might want to record this. Make sure you're recording this or screen recording it or something so that you guys get it. I don't go live a lot. I haven't really been going live since, the pandemic, but this is something that came to my attention. It came to my attention that a DJ, and I'm not going to say any names because I don't think it's necessary. A DJ basically said that, a lot of the pioneers in hip-hop are
Okay. So I hope I let LL Cool J video kind of play a little bit because I wanted everybody to understand that heartfelt message that he's trying to get out to everyone, not just the DJ Akademiks, but that was a heartfelt message. And I'm going to explain why. See, a lot of people not explaining why and going into the deep. But ENJ wants to talk to everybody today because I want to tell everybody the start of what I seen, what I witnessed, what I know, what I participated in when it came to the rise of hip hop. And some of the legends, pioneers, and the participators of hip hop, and how heartfelt it was basically at the beginning. Hang in there with me, people. Don't click off, because this is something that everybody needs to hear, because I don't think it's been told enough. Probably why DJ Akademiks and his age group don't respect the rise of hip hop. And that's what I'm going to do today. Now, DJ Akademiks, let's start off with this before I give everybody this heartfelt story about hip hop as I know it. DJ Akademiks, let's go back to you. Okay? First, I want to say that DJ Akademiks, I looked, he's not from the United States. He is from Spanish Town, Jamaica. And from what I saw and what some of the articles say, DJ Akademiks came at about 10 years old to America. But is from Jamaica, Spanish Town, Jamaica. Okay? Which is here. Now, I don't want anyone to take this. See, this is the knowledge, the teachable moment, and DJ Akademiks, please don't click off, or if you do ever see this or whatever. I'm trying to give everybody the roots, because sometimes I've heard a lot of people say y'all don't get it, kind of talking to the Black Brothers. And the Black Brothers, American, did not disrespect, that I know of, on a big platform, the hip hop legends. Okay? So, Spanish Town, Jamaica, when I read up on it, is a very dangerous place. Very dangerous town, poor town, you know, and it's still that way right today. And that's it. This is it. Okay. Very poor town that they still do their food and stuff, you know, sell their outlets and everything. Is still most likely on the streets. That's what I saw here recently. Okay, so it's a very poor town, and this is where DJ Akademiks is from. This is where they buy their little items and things like that. As you can see, most of their buildings are not, now, hold on. I don't want nobody to think I have a problem with Jamaica. That's not it. I'm just trying to show everybody where he came from. So, he wasn't born here. I don't know about his parents. He came here. Okay? Now, so he wouldn't know the struggles of hip hop. This is, as you see right here, it says Spanish Town Hospital. Their hospital is inside of a gate, not even really a building. That's where everybody go in. And that's a closer look. That's a closer look. So I don't blame anyone from leaving somewhere else that's not a wealthy place or whatever and come to America. My thing is when a lot of people come to America, please respect Americans. And if you can't respect them, then don't join them. And if you do join them, respect them, because this is where they are from. If we was to go over to another country, we would have to respect them. We can't go over there and boo-boo on their country. I don't care how long we've been in their country. We could move to their country and be there for 20, 30 years. But what they're not going to tolerate is anybody boo-booing on them. Okay? Not without consequences. So, I can understand why DJ Akademiks came the way he did, because he wasn't taught the roots of hip-hop. He just came here, fitted in with our culture, Black Americans, and he joined in to whatever they did, got into hip-hop with either friends or whoever he was hanging around, and never got the background of hip-hop. So he didn't know how important hip-hop is to a lot of us and a lot of legends. Because it didn't go that deep with him, and didn't nobody show him or teach him that. Well, that's what we're here to do today. Okay, so let's go into the start of hip-hop as I know it, family. Okay? Let's do that. And because I heard DJ Akademiks say, they not kicking the knowledge of hip hop. That's what he said. They not kicking the knowledge of hip hop, and they not telling us the importance of hip hop. I don't know. It's almost like he was saying he didn't mean to disrespect anyone. Okay? So, let's do this. This is a teachable moment, and I'm only telling people what I seen, what I witnessed. Now, I don't know if anybody know, but I know a lot of you probably do know, but in 1965, the Voting Rights Act, okay, law was signed. And it was signed by Lyndon B. Johnson. Okay? Now in 65, can anybody tell me was anybody rapping in 65 that they know of or whatever? I'll wait, because I don't. Okay? I'll wait. Y'all put it in the comment. But I don't know of anybody who was rapping around that 1965 when that Voting Rights Act law was put in effect. Okay? So now, around 71, 72. So you got 65 was that act. 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71. About 6 years later, okay, you started hearing in New York City, where I was born and raised, you started hearing poetry rhymes. Okay, around about 71, somewhere up in there, 71, 72, you start hearing the kids, young adults, a lot, teenagers, they started doing this poetry rhyme thing. You just started hearing when you go to school or when you out in the park or whatever, you just started hearing people start rhyming. Now, remind you, I ain't say nothing about no rap. I said they started rhyming. That's what it was called before they attached that rap. It was called spitting rhymes. Okay? So they was doing this in parks and everywhere, in all 5 boroughs of New York City. Around 71, 72, you started hearing this rhyming going on, like poetry rhyming. And it was basically we was rapping, or what, not rapping, it was rhyming at the time. You would rhyme about your personality, about yourself, about what was going on around you. But it was called rhyming. Okay? And that was from Black Americans. Now, I'm quite sure in other states, up north or wherever, maybe in the South too, that, and I'm going to tell y'all about that, but I'm quite sure that other states in the North, like Chicago, whatever, was doing that too. I'm only telling you what I witnessed in New York City around this time. Okay, so around 72-ish, around there, you heard a lot of rhyming, you know, and it wasn't called rap at the time. It was called spitting rhymes. Then you heard Black Americans around 5 years old to about 28 back in 72. That's all they did. They was in school, on the playground, on the parks, in the streets, down on the stoops. And a stoop is like a little porch or whatever. But you would hear people rhyming all the time. And we started catching on with each other. Black Americans was doing this at very young age, around 72, then it went to 73 or whatever. Okay, round about 72, 75, they started kind of battle rhyming. You know, you talk about me, I talk about you, or see who can have the best rhyme. And everybody was like, ooh, everybody was, whoever said a good rhyme and it sounded good is who everybody was cheering for. Then you had the next person go. Then you had the next person go. Then you had the battle rapping. Then you had that. That's when the cracking started. And for people who don't know what the cracking was, back in the day, it was when you crack on somebody, means joke on somebody, or mean, you know, basically just joke on somebody, you know. But you're doing it in a rap or a rhyme. And I keep saying rap because that's what it's known for today. But back then, it was called rhyming people. Okay? So now, and I'm going to show y'all some pictures because I have a picture of me and my friend thinking that we was good rhymers back in the day and rappers or whatever. But the thing is that between 72, 75, somewhere up in there, it started to where people started beating on chairs, tables. We'd be in school, in the lunchroom or whatever, started putting, you know, a little beat to the rhyme. And we used tables, chairs, anything we could in school or wherever we was around or whatever, we was just hitting. And somebody would be rhyming at that time. Okay? And y'all wouldn't imagine, then that's when they started getting where people were using their mouth to make the sounds as a beat. And like Dougie Fresh know how to do it very well. But they started why somebody rhyme. Wasn't no music. Wasn't called rap at the time. It was called rhyme. And people was just beating on anything or just doing their hands and whatever. And everybody was just rhyming, getting down to the flow. Everybody, you go home after school, and after you finish your homework, first thing you would do is try to come up with a nice rhyme. Come up with a nice rhyme. So you go to the park or whatever and recite your rhyme. And hoping that everybody thought your rhyme was dope. Okay? And when I say dope, I don't mean no No sniffing dope, y'all. That means, the best. Hoping that your rhyme was the best. And that's how we did it back in 72, 73, 74, 75. And people would stand out everywhere on Saturdays or during the week. And they would be making the beatbox noise. And they would be clapping. They would be making all kind of noise with their mouth and everything. Black Americans. Let's not get this twisted. Black Americans was doing this in New York City. And I was there. And I witnessed it. And it just became so enjoyable for all of us. Women, girls, boys, like 25, 26, teenagers, man. It was 5-year-olds, 6-year-olds rapping or rhyming at the time. Rhyming. Because I'm going to bring in that rap, but that's not what it was called then. It was rhyming. And once those rhymes started spreading all over the 5 boroughs of New York City, I mean, they was getting, and I'm quite sure it was in other states. But in New York City, this is what they was doing. Then you had to where it was getting to where everywhere you went in New York City, whether it was standing at the bus stop, being at the bus terminal, being in school, being on the parks, anywhere outside of a shopping center or whatever, all you heard was rhyming. And you had so many other people, other cultures, who was in New York City at the time that would look at, whether they was white, whether they was Mexican, whether they was Puerto Rican, whether they was Jamaican, whether they was with any other culture. They would stop and look and shake their head like, what the hell is they doing? What the hell is they doing? What the hell is they saying? What is they doing? Because the rhyme, and people do, and we ain't talking about with no music. It was mouth. You had somebody who knew how to do the mouth effects, that bebop. They knew how to do that. And that would just bring in the flow and bring in the beat. And then, people would rhyme. I used to rhyme with it. And we used to it just used to be a big thing. But other cultures was looking at rhyme like it was stupid. Like it was plain out stupid. They was like, what the hell is they doing? That shit is stupid. Why is these black kids standing out here doing all that? It's like everywhere we go, that's all they do. And we knew it would be something. We just didn't know what. We knew that this would probably turn out to be something one day. We just didn't know what. It was new. It was just a creation that was new for all of us, but we loved it. Some black Americans loved it, some didn't. But other cultures did look at us like we was crazy. I remember rapping and stuff, and people would walk by like, what's that little girl doing? Oh my God, look at them little girls over there. Oh my God, what is they doing? That stuff look, and they would laugh. They would laugh. They would stand there and look, because New York City is crowded. They would stand and look and see what the little round crowd is doing. And once they look and see, or they waiting on the bus, they would be shaking. You could see them shaking their head like, black kids just ain't got nothing else to do. What are they doing? What are they saying? They didn't understand it. We understood it. They didn't. So I'm just trying to give y'all a rundown. So just hang in there. Just hang in there. I know this story is sounding boring, but this is the creation that I remember, and the start that I remember, and the participation that I did with hip hop. And even family, our mothers and fathers back then, if we rapped around them, I don't know about all, but I know me, I spit a rhyme to my mother one time, and she's like, what is that? Where'd you get that from? And I was like, oh, I'm rhyming. Oh, that's cute. But it ain't gonna go nowhere now. Don't. Yeah, that's cute, but okay. A lot of people felt like rap wasn't gonna go anywhere. And they told rhyming wasn't gonna go anywhere. It was so many people that was saying, I don't know what they doing out there in that street. It had got so big to a lot of radio places, and it started floating so hard till they made it a point to put it in the air that rap ain't going nowhere. It's not going to go anywhere. Meaning that it'll never become anything. So why y'all wasting y'all time doing it? But if that's what y'all want to do on y'all spare time, rap and stand out there and look like fools and look like dummies and or whatever, that's what y'all do. But that stuff right there y'all doing ain't gonna go nowhere. Y'all get back in the books and y'all do that, which we were in the books. But that was a hobby that was created that a lot of us loved. And a lot of us kept pushing people to understand what it was. But it was so many people saying rap is never going to go anywhere. You had so many old school pioneers, legends, and everything that was kicking that off at the park. I remember being at Liberty Park on Jamaica Avenue, because that's where I lived. And Liberty Park, it has a convenience store on the corner, like a drugstore, convenience store, whatever, right across the street from the park. And then it had a community on both sides of the park. The park sat in the middle. And I stayed in one of the communities. And every Saturday, we used to just bum rush that park just to spit a rhyme. Something that nobody else believed in but the ones who was there and participating in it. And was constantly told, that's not going to go anywhere. I don't know why them black kids are out there like that. And they was putting it in the air to deter us from doing it. That's never going to go anywhere. I don't know what they doing, but it's foolish. It sounds foolish. I don't know what they doing, but they need to stop. But as we heard that, we didn't care. It was a new creation. We didn't care. Okay, if it don't go nowhere, it don't go nowhere. But this is what we love to do. And people continue to do it. Rap legends, rap pioneers, regular kids on the street like me, girls, boys, everybody continue to rhyme. Now, when they started this rhyme, then they started around 76, 75 or something that I can remember, started putting old school beats to it or old school music to it, like R&B music or funkadelic music to it. And they had, back in the day, records. You would have the side that was singing on it. Then you had another side that was instrumental. And people would use the instrumental part and rhyme over it. And once it became that's, oh, that sounds good. You know, you listen to the music, put it on instrumental, you try to rap to it or whatever, or rhyme to it. And it became a big thing. It became bigger. It was when they started adding sample music, real music, instead of the beatbox. But then you had some beatbox, so you know, they love to do, you know, all that. They started putting that on records and stuff, because that's the beats we used to use before the music got involved. So once they started putting the music in it, instrumental versions and all that stuff, that's when we started hearing the word rap. because the music got involved. And we were spitting the rhymes on that instrumental music. So then it became no longer rhyming, it became rapping. This is what I remember. Okay? And was smack dead in the middle of it. That's when we kept hearing rapping. And I remember my mother taking a trip down south to Alabama, and I would rap, rhyme, and all that to my cousins, and they all looked at me like I was crazy. It hadn't gotten to the south yet, evidently, because they thought I was plump ass crazy. They laughed me clean out the living room. Laughed me clean out of the driveway. And then they would say, hey, let them listen to what you just said. They thought it was a joke. A lot of people thought rap was irrelevant, basically. Okay? So now, I knew then, oh, well, they don't know nothing about this, so not, let me start rhyming here. I had to wait till I get back to New York City and join in with my friends and do all that, because obviously the South don't know anything about rapping, because it was new. It was a new thing. Now, when we was rapping, it was a lot of cultures around us. We had other friends, other cultures that would hang around us but wouldn't be involved in it. Now, understand me, because I do hear a lot of people that's pushing rap away from Black Americans. And you have some cultures say they started it, some cultures say they helped start it, some cultures, I don't know where all that came from, but what I can say is standing there in 1972, 3, 4, 5 on up to around the 80s, other cultures wasn't involved in that. And let me give you a reason of why is that. I remember I used to travel all over the 5 boroughs, okay? And because they used to have rhyming contests, rapping contests in the park or whatever. But it was a lot of other cultures that will be standing with us as we rapped, but didn't rap. And it was some, like, some white people, some Mexican people, or whatever other culture that used to hang with Black Americans. They used to be there and cheer, like if somebody said a good rhyme, they'd be like, oh, that's the show, oh, yeah. I remember that. But far as getting out there and participating in it around the 72, 73, 74, no. It was Black American males and females that was doing that. And I remember a couple of times when we went to little talent shows or big events in the park and things like that, if someone else from another culture even tried it, like if they say, let me try it, and you let them try it and they accent kind of threw it off at the time how a lot of people felt. I'm just telling y'all what a witness. It was like if you had a slang or an accent to it, they was like, nah, you're not doing it right. And the Black Americans will continue. And they did that with some white cultures. They did that with some Mexican cultures. It's like if you got up there and you rhymed, but it didn't sound like American rap, like if it had like a little slang or something, like every culture have its own slang of words. Even if they talk in English, you can hear their accent. Well, in rap, because it was new, they didn't really feel like that sounded right. So therefore, they kept it within Black Americans for a long time rapping. And I just want to give y'all what I witnessed, okay? And so during this struggle of everybody saying rap wasn't going to be anything, rap ain't going to amount to anything, why are they doing it? Why are they this? Why are they that? They look crazy, they look this, they look that. They was trying everything in the world to stop this rapping mess. They wouldn't even allow it to be played on the radio. So everybody was doing rapping, like I said, underground. You know, at little skating centers. The park was their talent show. Because it really wasn't, nobody was digging it to be put in any other function. People who had access to centers and things like that wasn't allowing rap to come in because they felt like the shit was stupid, that it wasn't going to go anywhere. So you had all these pioneers and all these legends rapping and fighting to be heard, to be seen, knowing that it was something new and that something big could come out of it. Wasn't really thinking rap was going to be as big as it is. We just knew it was something to be heard and it was something to add into R&B. Add into rock and roll. Add into all of that. Disco. It was a whole nother industry, a new industry that nobody really could understand, but the people who was really into their heart was into rhyming / rapping. So, like I said, other cultures was around, but didn't participate. I didn't see no start of it. Them starting it, it was Black Americans that was busting their butt every day, rhyming on them streets, and they didn't know where it was going, but we knew it was fun. We knew it was fun. And it taught everybody how to come up with lines and lyrics and to put stuff together and just to make yourself better, almost like poetry rhymes. That's what it was from the beginning. And like I said, when that music got involved and they started throwing their playing instrumental versions, and they started throwing their rhymes on top of those like that, then all of a sudden you started hearing that rap thing. But nobody believed in it. Nobody believed in it. And this is for academics and anybody else in this new generation that don't know about the history of hip-hop. And they started dancing and they started breakdancing. You had other cultures that would dance and hoop and holler and be the cheerleader of Black Americans who was rapping and rhyming. I don't know, you know? And then it's still like that right today. If you look at it, it's some Southern rappers that really don't make it too far up north. Like their songs don't really hit up north. And that's what I'm saying about that slang or whatever. It's vice versa. And it's some northern rap that people in the South don't get with. But now that we have the internet and everything like that, and you hear it, you begin to like both worlds of it. And I said that because when we started rhyming and rapping, like I said, when other cultures came in, it didn't sound right. So we was like, you doing it wrong. Because remember, we're trying to get it up off its feet. We're trying to get it to where this is how we want it. This is how we want it to sound. This is how it should be. And this is how we want it done. We don't need to throw no slangs and no twitches or other cultures sound. It just didn't sound right to us. not to later on. And we'll get to that. So it's the same way with the rap music today. You have a lot of rappers in the South, Florida, Louisiana, Alabama, all that stuff, that their music stay within their region. It's popping in their region, but it's not popping up north. And you have some rappers up north that their rap is really kicking and booming up north, but it's not getting too much play down here in the South. Now, because of the internet and things like that, where you are mixing different music, everybody seems to accept it all, no matter who's rapping or who's saying. But I do remember, back in the day, when you just heard rhyming everywhere you went, they tried to keep it underground, didn't want it to be heard on airways, didn't want it to be really publicly seen on TV, didn't want it to be in any major events, any parades, anything. They did not want rap, period, rhyming, none of that. A lot of people who had the ability to shine rap would not, because they basically thought it was a phase. Oh, they doing all, I don't know what that crazy stuff they doing right now. It'll fade out, but it didn't. But it didn't. But it didn't. And so it was a lot of people involved with the legends we know of that was rapping and doing all that. But it was a lot of people who participated in pushing this rap thing forward. It's a lot of people who participated, created it, legends, pioneers, and all that played a huge role in hip-hop, but didn't benefit from it at all. Didn't benefit from it at all. Now let's get into some of the pictures I want to show some people, since Akademiks said that the knowledge is not being put out there. Let's put that knowledge out there for Akademiks, because he said, oh, well, they not showing the knowledge, or they're not giving us a true understanding of all that. But let me show y'all this right here. Because it's a lot of people that need to know, and I really do think that, legends and stuff need to sit down and talk to people about the start and rise of hip-hop. But this was what they called the boom box. And the kind I had was right here. I used to love carrying that. Now that thing took about 12 batteries. But it lasts a long time. It lasts about 3 days. Play it all day. Take it to the park. Those was the boom box. We would bring those and rap, record yourself rapping, improve yourself with the raps. But everywhere you went, there was a boom box. Somebody had a boom box. You had a little group of 3 or a group of 4 or a group of 8. And they would all hang together. They would all dress alike. They would carry their boom box. And when it got time to hit a rhyme, they'll sit down with their boom box and they would start rapping. And that's what LL about the radio. That's just what we did back in the day. Okay? And then you had, see? That was back in the day. That was back in the day. You see the background? No, it wasn't a lot of money. It wasn't a lot of money there. But it was something that everybody was proud of. That's the DJ with the turntables and things like that. And you see people sitting down on the steps and things like that. You know what I'm saying? You see how this man here sitting down. I mean, they used to get up on Saturdays and do this stuff. This is when it really started. Look at these groups back in the days. Afros, hats, all that stuff. Look at this. Afros, hats, everything. The boom box. That's what everybody had. Trying to start the rhyme and rap. That was in the 80s. That's how everybody used to stand out on the streets. Sit down on the stoops. Enjoy rapping. Dancing. That was like in the park. Everybody, that's when they setting up at the park. The DJs who know how to, scratch, mix, all that. Had the fans out there. Everybody, they setting it up, and then you would have each individual, whatever, come out and start rhyming, start rapping, all that good stuff. And of course, all the pioneers of this rap game. So, let me show y'all this as well. This was me, family. That's me over here. Y'all see me right here. And I used to think that was me and T. That's my friend. Me and her used to be in New York City. And honey, we thought we could rhyme, we could rap back in the late 70s, early 80s, and things like that. And honey, y'all see NJ. I don't know if y'all could. Let me see if the other one is a little bit closer. But this was NJ, honey. That was me there on the left. Thought I was doing something real. And you see, we got that pose, like that little rap pose and all that. And back in the day, honey, I used to have something I used to rhyme. I used to always say, my name is Shelly Shell, and I want you to tell that I am the best in the East and West, and I rock your mind, I blow your mind. Let everybody know NJ is all divine. I know that sounds real raggedy and corny right now, but back in the day, that's what we used to do. And we was into it. And you see me, and I had my little boom box on the side, because I was always the one who had a boom box. And I had the boom box right on the side when we took this picture. This picture here is about 40 years old. Over 40 years old. And my friend T on the right posted it on Facebook saying, you remember these days? And everybody just started laughing. Everybody started cracking up. But back in those days, me and her used to love to rap and skate. We used to disco skate all the time. All the time. So that's what I'm saying about DJ Akademiks. Because, and anybody else. Oh, and let me show y'all this right here, because I really wanted to focus on this right here for a minute. I really did. Right here. Because it was a lot of hip hop legends in that picture right there. And everybody that you see on that picture had a hell of a struggle, family. A hell of a struggle trying to get hip hop to be known. that people would respect it. Work their ass to the bone so that everybody would respect hip hop. And those are pioneers that help create, help push, and also continue from where the pioneers left off. But it was a hard ass struggle. A hard ass struggle, family. And like I said, it wasn't until it was a man who was a DJ. I know they called him Mr. Magic back in the day. You know, that was told that he can DJ long as he don't play hip hop. You know, that's how bad they didn't want hip hop on the airways. But I can tell y'all, family, I will never forget the time that everybody had that hard struggle with hip hop, trying to get hip hop to be known, kick it off. Then all of a sudden, we heard on the radio, after all the pushback, after all the being treated like hip hop would never be anything, we heard on the radio one day the Sugar Hill Gang. And I'm quite sure it was a couple of more songs on the radio then that was rap, and we was proud of it, not many. But it was a DJ who played the rap when he wasn't supposed to play the rap. And it was the best thing they ever could have did. But I vividly remember the Sugar Hill Gang. When everybody heard on that radio, hip hop, the hip to the hip hop, you don't stop. Bring it up to the boogie to the bang bang, the boogie to the boogie to beat. Now what you hear is not a test, we're rapping to the beat. And me, my crew, and my friends, we're gonna try to move your feet. Now I am Wonder Mike, and I like to say hello. Like to rap to the white, the red, and the brown, the purple, and yellow. But first we gotta bang, bang, the boogie to the boogie. Say up, jump the boogie to the bang, bang, boogie, let's rock. When we heard that, the joy in Black Americans' heart, like, it's on the radio. It's on the radio. It wasn't that the Sugar Hill Gang was on the radio. It's that rap reached the radio. What a proud moment. What a proud moment. That was a proud moment. I almost cried just then. Because y'all couldn't imagine, except for the legends and the pioneers and the ones like me who grew up in that era, you couldn't imagine how hard it was just to get just a half of a rap song on the radio. They didn't want it. They didn't allow it. They was trying to ban it. Oh, they just didn't think it was worth a nickel. Now, it makes $10 billion a year. And, you know, yes, when DJ Akademiks said that these legends are dusty, when I see him, I say, you sure you created hip hop? Because you sure don't look like it. back then, those legends and pioneers, it was new. It was a new industry. There was no record companies that wanted it, didn't want to sign them. There was no accountants. There was no label that wanted rap. So these guys was basically dealing with people that had something in their basement as a studio, just trying to be independent. A lot of them got beat out of their money because it was new. It was new. It was a lot of them got beat out their money. A lot of them didn't get paid what they should have been getting paid. And hell, it's like that right today. It's some rappers right today that's getting beat out their money and not getting paid what they should be getting paid. But back then, it was new. It was something, an industry that Black Americans had started and really didn't know how big this thing was going to be. And at the time, they was just trying to push it, but they was getting beat out of their money at the same damn time. Yeah, they was. And when you look at these legends and you go back to the old songs, you go back, put in rap songs in 1974, 1979. When you go back there, a lot of them songs was tremendous. Best songs. But they didn't get too much of nothing out of it. So yeah, you might see a couple of them not having any money or anything like that. But why not this new generation appreciate that? And say, you know, if it wasn't for these legends or these participators, or these legends and pioneers, it wouldn't be where it is today. So instead of calling them dusty or broke or whatever, how about putting one of them legends have one verse on your rap song? Because if it wasn't for them, none of y'all would be where y'all are today in that rap industry. Oh no. You wouldn't. You wouldn't. You know? And now hip hop is bigger than ever. They use it in everything. They use it in commercial, clothes, everything. They promote in shows and all that. And rap basically makes up the doggone world. You go all overseas and everywhere else, you got all kind of nationalities rapping. And the legends are being forgot about on how they pushed and struggled and created using their hands and their feet and tables and chairs to make a beat, to make a rhyme and do all that, and nobody believed in it, and how they was fighting for it and how they kept it going even when people were saying rap ain't gonna be shit. They still pushed, we still pushed, everybody still pushed to make rap valid to where it is today. And then that next generation took over, but when they took over, I have to say it's the older generation fault for not telling them exactly the hardcore struggle of it. Yeah, we seen NWA movie of the struggle they went through, but it needs to be something out here about the struggle from day one, because I have a lot of vivid memories of how hard it was for hip hop to get even pushing, to get even noticed. And what a lot of people had to go through, what I witnessed. I ain't talking about what nobody told me. I'm talking about what I witnessed. So you have a whole lot of people that enjoyed that time back then, such as myself. I ain't get rich off of it. And for one thing, I wanted to rap, and I was very good at it. But like we said back then, nobody believed in it, and my mother, parents, or whatever, damn sure wasn't believing in. No, that's not finna be no career for you, sister. That thing ain't going nowhere. Go here, go to this college, or do this, or do that. That right there ain't going nowhere. Now look at it, a $10 billion industry in 1 year. Make $10 billion in 1 year. Yeah. And I listen to a lot of rappers today, male and female. I listen to all the raps. Not all of them, but basically a lot of them, you know. And I listen to them and I like them. And a lot of people say, oh, well, at your age, you still in my car. I will still bump some rap music. And people say, you still listen to rap? Rap is in my soul. I remember when it was trying to come out the dirt. So it's in my soul. I participated like a lot of millions of people, Black Americans, participated in it. And in that era, it's hard for the old school. That's how come LL Cool J and a lot of other legends and pioneers took that statement that DJ Akademiks made so personal. Because you had to know the struggle of the beginnings of what y'all are doing today as rap artists. Wasn't that easy to just go to a record, get a record deal, or go, no. Your ass was underground, in a basement, or in a house basement, or in a park to try to get your music out there. Using cassette tapes, trying to sell cassette tapes, and all that stuff. And a lot of y'all don't know what cassette tapes is. I ain't even trying to go through that. Google it up. But cassette tapes and everything else. Trying to get their music out there because it was being banned on radios and everything else. They wouldn't even let the DJs play it. But that one DJ did it anyway. And it blew from there. It blew from there. It blew from there. You know? So you got to think what you're saying. Think before you speak. You know? Because I can tell you like this. The rappers these days have a gravy train with air conditioning on that train. On that gravy train, hell, y'all on that gravy train with air conditioning in this generation. But back then, the pioneers, the legends, participators, they're female and male who was helped getting this thing kicked off the ground. Wasn't on no gravy train. They was underground eating on peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and syrup sandwiches. Steady trying to make this thing work. You know? So it's a lot of legends, participators, pioneers that never benefited off of the hard work they did to get hip-hop where it can be heard and it can be enjoyed. And everybody else is benefiting off of it. So I say that why don't rappers today get some of those pioneers, get some of those legends, add them one verse to your song. Hey, that's how you can honor these legends and pioneers who are blessed to still be here. Call them up. Y'all rocking and doing all, making all these songs now. Ask one of the legends, hey, can you put one verse on my song? And then that legend will be heard. And then people will know who the legends are and all that. But it also needs to be a movie of some kind told from beginning how the struggle was of hip-hop and how it is today. And that would show a lot of people a hell of a lot. If y'all take my idea, you better be trying to reach out to me and give me some credit for that too. But That's what it needs. Because I'm going to tell you, I was smack dead in the middle of it when it was starting and all that. And that would be an awesome ass movie. So everybody with all a little old series or a little old something where people could just see the start and where it's at right now. The start of being underground, holding a damn boom box and trying to rhyme, turn it into rap and all that stuff to a 10 billion industry a year. Shit. Tell you, hip hop back then was almost similar to the civil rights movement, where they were saying, no, you can't do this, you can't do that, holding your back, wouldn't let you be heard, and they were still pushing. They were still pushing. Like, no, we want this to be heard. We like it. Even if don't know other culture like it, we like it. It wasn't until hip hop started kicking off in the 80s, the late 70s, 80s, 90s. Now, when everybody sat back, other cultures sat back and see how, oh shit, this thing here is kicking off. That's when they started joining in. And when we heard like a white rapper start rapping like a Slim Shady and all them, we was like, oh, he getting that, because it's kind of unusual to hear and see another culture rapping. So when they did, we gave props and due where it was deserved, because we knew how it was supposed to sound, how it was supposed to look, how it was supposed to come across, because they are the Black Americans, are the ones who started the thing. And so many people are trying to pull it out from under Black Americans. It's so disrespectful. So disrespectful. So degrading. Totally. It's so many people. I noticed there's a lot of people who are trying to remove Black Americans from hip hop. And I'm sitting right there, slap in the middle of it, and I'm saying, who, when, what they say, when, how, who did it? And I'm sitting there, participating in it. Had about 9 folders full of raps that I spit out all the time. And I know who was around, who was participating, who was cheering, who was rah-rahing, or whatever. I seen all that. So when they start putting something else, then I'm saying, where's all this coming from? Who is trying to do this? Why? Come on now. Come on now. I just don't get that. Is so disrespectful. So disrespectful. And it's so many OGs and everything that put this stuff together, started this stuff. And like I said, I'm just trying to give a quick thing of that background, how it exploded and all that. But it took off when that music got behind it and you started hearing like Sugar Hill Gang, and then you started hearing all them LL Cool J. You started hearing everybody, female rappers. You started hearing all that. It took off. And if you ask me, a lot of those pioneers got beat out of what they are owed, and then turn around and they're trying to pull it away from Black Americans and say, no, y'all didn't. Our culture did, or our culture helped with it, or this and that and that and that. And I'm like, okay, out of all them years that I was looking, I ain't talking about what nobody told me. See, it's different when you tell me something that happened back in slavery. I believe it, I understand it, but I wasn't there to say you didn't do that or you didn't do that. In this case, I was smack dead in the middle of it, Jamaica, New York, and Flushing, Queens, New York, and going through other 5 barrels. We used to be in Flushing Meadow Parks, where it was a skating ring back there by Flushing Meadow Park, and that's all. If it wasn't disco skating, it was rhyming and rapping. and it was black Americans. And if I went anywhere else with my mom to travel to visit her family in the South or anywhere else, folks were looking at me like I was goddamn crazy. White people, other cultures, everybody like, what the hell is she saying? What the hell is she doing? Look, y'all say that in New York? Y'all do that in New York? Yeah, we do. Why y'all do that? Look at it now. Look at it now. So I'm proud of where hip hop is today. What I'm not proud of is how they turned hip hop into violence, rap into violence. About wetting somebody's t-shirt, taking out the next brother, taking out the next sister, or that right there. That's not what rap was intended for. Because like I said, at the beginning, it was a personality thing. You told about your personality, like I was like, my name is Shelly Shell, and I want you to tell that I am the best in the East and West. It was about you. Or it was about where you came from or the struggle you see, not about Xing out our brother or our sisters. That's not what rap was intended for. Rhyme/rapping. That's not what it was intended for. So they have changed it and made it to where rapping weaponizes its own creation. People, let me say that again for the ones in the back. They've got it where the rap nowadays is destroying its very own people of creation that created it. And that's not what it was intended for. If you go back and you look at, you listen to a lot of those rap songs back in the day, it wasn't nothing about killing a brother and a sister. Like I said, that rhyme I just did from the Sugar Hill Gang. Have you ever went over a friend's house to eat and the food just ain't no good? It was like that. LL Cool J, Rock the Bell. You know, it was like, it wasn't meant. Public Enemy, KRS-One, all of them was kicking knowledge. It wasn't about taking out your own people. So that's the only thing that disappoints me about hearing some of the rap nowadays. Some rappers that don't do that at all today, but the majority of them do. And that's not what it was intended for. So if you want to know the background and the history of rap, I could tell you that point blank. It wasn't intended to create, to X out our own, or to send a message to take out our own. It was really educational purposes about yourself, about what you've been through, or about what you've seen. But not the violence that it got today. But that's what happens when everybody else got their hands and dipping in it now. Besides the culture who created it. When other people get their hands in it, they tend to taint it. And make it to where it destroys the very people who created it. A damn shame. A damn shame. So, this Akademiks and the rest of the generation, don't fault. That's just like, don't fault the pioneers and the legends for not having as much as y'all had, because they paved the way for all y'all, and even you, Akademiks, because you wouldn't be able to report on hip-hop if them legends hadn't pushed hip-hop to where it is today. If everybody back then would have said, you know what, these folks won't put it on the radio, they don't even want us to be in a center, they don't even want us to perform it, they don't want us to be at a concert, they don't want us to be anywhere, let's just leave this stuff alone. Guess what? imagine this world without hip-hop right now. So all of y'all who are in hip-hop in this generation, or who love hip-hop, and all that, imagine if those pioneers and legends would have just said, fuck it. It's too hard. Nobody believes in it. Let's just leave this alone, and let's just all just listen and focus on R&B and slow music. So sometimes you have to think before you speak. You have to think before you speak. But I did not hear any Black American male say anything bad that's from America, say anything bad about the legends and the rap. Because my sons know how important those legends and pioneers are, because I taught it to them. And a lot of other parents, Black American parents, taught it to their kids as well. So they you know, a lot of them is not going to make that mistake. But if someone comes from somewhere else and really not in tune or don't know the background, yeah, they say some stupid shit in a minute. But that's when they do have to be checked and have to be told, so they'll understand. You know? So it's a lot of people out here that needs to understand that you have to think before you speak. You have to. And uplift the legends. If they're still here, put them on some of your tracks. Some of you rappers or DJ Akademiks or whatever. Bring them on your show and ask them, tell me the story of when you started. Tell me the story of what you've been through. Go to those put them, see all y'all got new generation people up there talking about hip hop. Yeah, it's like that now. But if you want to start talking about Dusty and the struggle and all that, you need to go to those people, those old school people. A person like me as well who participated in it. You need to go to those type of people and tell them, tell me about how hard it was for hip hop to be pushed, to be heard, and how it exploded. Yeah, that's what you do. But that's all I have to say about that. But people really do need to watch what they say. And you cannot fault your ancestors or the pioneers for not having what you have. They paved that way, but respect that paved way that you are on. Yeah. They paved that way. And respect that. And reach out to them and ask them to come on your rap song. 1 or 2 verses. Or sentence. Or whatever. Or just have them in the damn video. Or just have them in it somewhere. Because back in the day, see, that's where a lot of them mixed up. See, back in the day, rappers would say another rapper name from back in the day. Like you would have some female rappers today that would say something in their lyric about, yeah, I'm shaking like salt and pepper. Well, they are still respecting and honoring legends and pioneers by mentioning them in their song. Or I rock the bell like LL Cool J, and then it in their song. See, that's where a lot of it is missing, because a lot of these new school generation rappers have forgotten to mention the pioneers and the legends that got them that bag that they're doing today. They didn't get the bag, but they risked and paved the life for the other generations to get that bag. So sometimes you can mention a pioneer or a legend just in your song, and that pays homage. And that gets your generation to say, salt and pepper. I heard her say, salt and pepper. Who is salt and pepper? Oh, that's, the female group, Spinderella and all that. Then they'll start looking, oh, now they know who their pioneers and legends are. We started talking about Curtis Blow and all that. Well, who is that? But if these new rappers will mention them, that's paying homage to them, also letting everybody know this is one of the legends. So that's all I'm saying. Before you go talking about some Dusty and all that, why don't you take your ass, I'm going to tell you, because when I was saying, looking at that Jamaica, Spanish town Jamaica, I said, I know he didn't call nobody over here in America Dusty, when I've seen a lot of them people walking around with no shoes on and with Dusty too. So which one is it, Academic? So you can't be over here calling American citizens Dusty when your hometown, some of them cats wasn't looking all together either. You know? So sometimes you have to think. Sometimes you have to think of what you're saying. And that's what kills me, because I want everybody in the United States to get along, no matter what culture you're from, no matter what country you come from. But when you come from another country, because this country is better, and then you start boo-booing on the white people, the black people, or whoever is here in this country, that's totally disrespectful. Well, if you can't seem to get along with the people over here, best thing for you to do is go back where you came from. And then get all that the way you feel fit. But you're over here because it's so much better. So don't come over here boo-booing on everybody who is here. That's all I'm saying. And that's not being disrespectful. That's just trying to get everybody to get along. Don't do it. Because there's no way anybody in America can go to another country and boo-boo on them folks. I don't care what you say. You can't go over there and do it. Not without some consequences. Not without some consequences. It ain't happening. It ain't happening. And from my understanding, how dangerous and hood and stuff Spanish town Jamaica is, from where DJ Akademiks come, if somebody from over here was to go over there and start disrespecting those folks, you as good as through. So why would they come over here and disrespect black Americans or white Americans? Why? It's not right. It's only common sense, people. Let's get along here. And that's a lot of big problems, is when you have so many different cultures thinking they better than the other, but in America. How could you be better than me, or call me nasty, call me dusty and all that, and you here too? And if you feel that way, since you got the loot, help them out. And if you don't want to help them out, then help your country out. Point blank period. That's all I got to say about that. Gain knowledge to prevent blockage. And we all know what that means. The more you know, the harder it is for anybody to block you out from your goals and success. Bye-bye.